Brought to you by JMR Rentals, professional digital cinema and broadcast equipment rentals in Brooklyn, New York. JMRNY.com. Hello and welcome to No Rest for the Weekend, where we go behind the scenes and talk to the creators of independent entertainment. I'm Jason Godbey, and joining me via Zoom today, he is an accomplished filmmaker, producer. He's the man behind Rolling Studios, and he happens to be the director of the Greenpoint Film Festival. He's been on the show before, making his triumphant return, Mr. Anthony Argento. Welcome, Anthony.
Thank you, Jason, for having me again. I know it's a lot to catch up on with this industry and this COVID, and 2021 is a new year, and we got to move forward.
Well, let's hope it's a better one than last year. I mean, we got a lot going on coming up here. And, you've got the film festival. I wanted to talk to you about kind of how you managed to get things done last year, because you guys did like a hybrid festival, which is interesting. But first of all, I want to kind of get some background on the festival. By the way, you can check out Anthony's episode. Look for Anthony Argento on the show, and he can tell you all about him. But today we're going to talk mostly about Greenpoint. For just some background, tell us about the Greenpoint Film Festival. Like, what's its mission? What do you guys do?
Yeah, absolutely. So Greenpoint Film Festival was founded in 2011 by a woman named Rosa under Woven Spaces. It was nonprofit, and she had a background of very big artsy world, and she went on for years. I mean, I've helped her in the past as well. She's rented spaces from Broadway stages. She's done festivals in Transmitter Park. She's done all over Greenpoint. The Wyatt Hotel, we've done it at a few other locations, and she was really building up the film festival for years. I believe she got a lot of great love and support from the local community, and she just finally decided to hand down the torch, and I was a runner-up. She knew how involved in the film I was, and in the community as well. And that brings me basically to what we're all about. And our big objective is really to build Greenpoint Film Festival up and through the community, and have them as a big supporting member to our industry. And Greenpoint Film Festival, Greenpoint itself is part of the film industry. It's one of the biggest film entrepreneurs in New York, at least. We must do like 30 shows alone just in Greenpoint. I don't know, we want to focus on having we want to focus on like those people who have these stories that are never told, and basically we want to voice the voiceless. And in a area where we think Greenpoint is like the heart of the film industry, I think it's a very important film festival to really make an example of newer festivals and younger filmmakers, and kind of really build everything together.
So last year, you had this. I mean, we got hit with COVID, and it was really tough on the entire industry, especially film festivals. We had a lot of people going virtual. You guys did something interesting though, because you did partly virtual, where the films were online, and we actually reviewed some of the films. One of those films, Go Don't Go, actually they told us they got distribution partly because of our review, which was really cool. Talk a little bit, kind of how that went, and how you guys kind of cope with things. Talk a bit about that, if you would.
I mean, just starting out, that was the year we transitioned into the festival. So paperwork and just, the business aspect of it was already complicated. And we kind of had our festival all ready to go and moving. We were supposed to do it end of March, in a hotel, and then everything kind of flipped upside down on it, and we had to start from scratch again. And we put our thinking caps on, and what's the one place that you can be socialized but not social? We kept going back and forth, and drive-in film festival was our answer. We put together a lot of different roads on how to approach a festival where you can't be socialized, and drive-in was the solution. I mean, we came up with other options and trying to go back and forth, but at the end, you come in as a family, you come in with a group of friends, you drive in, you stay in the car, we had right when you came in, we had a big LED wall where the cars would show up. You would take pictures still in the car, and they loved it. They thought it was a little bit new, and I know a lot of other festivals followed that road as well, and that was great. And we also made some booths where people would be able to sit together and stay together, and be socialized, but in their own groups. And we did it. And Go Don't Go got a great distribution plan, and yes, we thank you for helping with that as well, and a lot of others that came together and put it together. It was really a joint community effort on building this thing. Our sponsors, PRG, to uh, Mini Cooper USA. I mean, we had everyone pitch in to make this happen during a crazy pandemic.
That can be tough because New York is not exactly a car town. I mean, a lot of people, there's a lot of cars and too much traffic and et cetera, but like a lot of people who live here don't own cars. So were you able to accommodate people like me who are carless?
Absolutely, yeah. So we were able to we made a bunch of booths out of construction. We had all these wood donated to us from previous films, and we built little stage decks for people to sit and be in their own environment. And we also had picture cars from Lost Souls. They provided us about a few police cars to taxi cabs to a bunch of other like really unique cars, and they're the best. I've been working with them for years. Lost Souls is they're located in New Jersey officially, but they've been doing projects in New York for over 10 years. And they really came through on donating cars for people who did not have cars but wanted to sit in the car. We had every type of option that they can feel comfortable in, and people got to talk on the sirens in the police cars, and put the taxi light on. People had a blast, and they were safe, and everyone really loved being there. And that's all you can ask for a festival.
That's like its own particular headache too, because when you have different screens, of course you have to like wipe everything down and like sanitize everything.
Absolutely.
What did you find out, or what did you learn from that last year that might inform the festival this year? And what kind of knowledge would you pass on to maybe other festival organizers or like other filmmakers who are going to do the festival route in 2021?
Last year, we kind of had to continue the path that we had the festival with, and continue a path where we created a new environment. So we kind of had to do the transition, and that was some things worked, some things were just we got by and made it work, and now we're ready to kind of start fresh because uh, uh, everything was just, I mean, with COVID especially, it was just mayhem. Oh, and on top of it, we had a huge storm the day before. We set everything up and basically reset up everything on the day. And man, it was, festival chaotic, first day. You want to make an impression, and somehow, one way or another, we did it.
Because everything has to be outside, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're everything's outside. You've got, and did you have multiple screens or you just had one screen?
Well, we had two venues. So we had the Foundry, which they're amazing. The place is amazing. If you ever been there, they were amazing. They put together a lot of vendors in their area as well, from have coming in and kind of little booths where people would be able to look at while walking around in the backyard. And they had drinks and kind of food from their venues, and it was a nice little environment as well.
Did you guys have any? Were there any like obstacles and or like that happened during it that you said, okay, that's probably not going to work. So next year we're not going to do. Obviously, you can't have it in March because it's going to be too cold.
It's definitely going to be closer to the end of the year. I mean, we're looking at September. We have plans that we're looking at doing it. We definitely want to continue a drive-in. I think we got a lot of positive reviews from it. But again, you were right. New York is a carless state. That we knew that going in, and we thought, I mean, people still have a lot of cars, and they love the drive-in. I mean, you go to a drive-in because you have a car, but we did not anticipate. I mean, and we ran out of room. There was maybe only 2 or 3 nights that we actually had room. So we're looking at getting a bigger space, and uh, we also looking at better solutions for people to have a comfortable sitting area where people would just come in. And we want to kind of do like, you can walk in, drive in, bike in, do whatever you want in kind of thing.
Yeah, because it's a lot easier to accommodate like 50 people but much harder than like 50 cars. It's tough to fit in the space kind of thing.
Yes and no. The problem with the cars is people actually stay in the cars. They're comfortable, they're nice, and they're easy. But when you go put them outside, people want to be socialized, and they want to get up and they want to walk around. And, I mean, you know, that was a little tough for us. And the first day was kind of a little hectic, and then we put more bodies and just kind of made people in their own stay in their own spaces. And we had people walking around with snacks and menus. We also worked with like Grubhub and Yelp, and we didn't think people would be interested in it, but believe it or not, they were ordering food left and right, because we weren't allowed to have food for the venue because of what happened with the restaurants at that time. So the last resort was give the people the option to order their own food. And we had delivery guys going to the front. We would sign them in, get the food, and bring it to the people. Uh, you know, that's what we had to do. And I think it worked out great.
I mean, hopefully this year it'll be better. There's a couple of vaccines out. There's a plan in place from the federal government. Cuomo has been working hard on getting things under control, especially here in the city or in different like hotspots. So, anybody who wants to have any sort of event, you're going to have to deal with this for the next year or so at least. So, going forward, you guys don't have any set dates yet. And have you opened submissions at this point?
Yes, submissions are open, and we have been getting a lot of submissions. We're probably close to
What's
maybe
the what's the period of time? When do submissions? When's the final deadline?
I think it might be April, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, we've just been testing it out. I think we opened it like mid-December just to get the kinks out and figure things out, and then I don't know. I mean, Film Freeway obviously does a huge amount of advertising, and it alerts everyone when the festivals are open. So they've been really a big help on marketing it out. We haven't done any releases yet because we're just waiting on a few more things to get our ducks in a row, and then we'll announce it and then go from there.
Definitely send us a release when you guys are officially open, and let us know. Give us updates on the festival. Now, in addition to the festival, you're still doing stuff with Rolling Studios. What kind of stuff do you guys have coming up? What kind of projects are you working on? Is there anything from you guys that we can find on VOD or streaming or something like that?
The last project we did before the pandemic was Lost in Russia. It was a big Asian film that shot 50 days in Russia and 40 days in China, and they shot about 10 days in New York. And, it went all over uh, in releases, but then it was shut down, and the director ended up putting it out for free all over Asia, I believe, and got a lot of publicity off of that. Um, and what do we have in the future? We're days away from signing like a big project, a biopic about a guy from the 60s. Can't say much about it, but he is a famous boxer, and we plan to do that at the end of this year. And that's a really interesting project that we're hoping to get together. And we're also working on our big biopic for Robert Johnson. I don't know, I believe I mentioned it
Yeah,
before.
you mentioned that the last time you were on the show. Where are you with that? I mean, I imagine everything got stalled because of the pandemic.
Of course. Yeah.
Have you casted yet, or where are you at with that?
So with Robert Johnson, a lot of movement has happened. We are in the process of kind of getting a solid A team on board. Uh, we do have actors signed in already. We did get our initial like first investment for just kind of putting together the project, kind of uh, you know a small amount to get us started. And with that, it's gaining a lot of interest from actors to other investors, and we do have someone on the table that's willing to fully finance the project, and we'll know that in the next couple of months. So that's the project that's really going to put us on the road. We also did get the rights from, so we've been obviously licensing the rights for a few years now, but we optioned to buy them just the last couple of months for the book Up Jump the Devil. That's the book all about Robert Johnson and his life. That's what our script is mostly based upon.
With Johnson too, like now he's for people who don't know, give us a little bit a background about Robert Johnson, and are you going to shoot that kind of in Mississippi? Is that going to be a location thing?
Robert Johnson, first off, is he's the godfather of the blues. He is the story behind the legend is basically the myth behind the legend, I should say, is Robert gets up and he is known for being the worst guitarist in the Delta region, and somehow he leaves very depressed and uh, ends up in the crossroads waiting for a ride, and uh, that's where the myth starts of uh, him making a deal with the devil and saying he wants to be the best guitar player in all the world, and he disappears for a good year and shows up again, but now he becomes the best guitarist. And back in the day, they all said it's the devil's music. They worship the devil, blah blah blah, and that myth stuck with many people. They've tried making several films about this, and it's been hard with uh, music to having the rights of the family. So it's like we got the support from the family, we got the support from the author, the writer of the Up Jump the Devil, uh, and which is winning a lot of best awards now, and actually getting a lot of publicity. And now now we're at the stage where you know they just came out with a Netflix series, not a series, but a little documentary about Robert Johnson. Uh, and you can look that up. And now everyone's becoming aware of the name and the legend. And, we're all about showing you the myth and telling you the legend,
And he literally has songs called like Hellhound on My Trail, Me at the Crossroads. Like there's such a, and the music is great. The music, I've heard it wasn't actually recorded, or when they discover the recordings, they're not really at the right speed, the records. So it's very hard to tell what his actual voice was. But even guys like Eric Clapton have attempted to play his stuff and said, this is the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life, because people thought he had another guitar player with him, because he sounds like two guitar players. He's an amazing, if you're a blues fan and you don't know who Robert Johnson is, I don't know what to tell you. Definitely look him up. And he's the first member of the 27 Club, because he only lived to be 27 years old.
That's correct. That's correct.
So there's a lot of legend, a lot of life, a lot to mine there. And I'm looking forward to it. I haven't read the book. Maybe I should get the book first, and then we can check out the movie. Anyway, I'm going to let you go, but for those who want to know more about you, Rolling Studios, Greenpoint, give us all your URLs.
You can look at me. We got the greenpointfilmfestival.org. You can look at submissions there, look at what we're planning to do, look at our past films there. You got rollingstudios.com. We're always around answering our calls 24/7 with support on every type of project you can think of, to locations, to equipment, you name it, and we're there. And we shoot all over America, and and I'm all around wherever you need me to be.
I'm going to wrap up, man, but it's great having you. Send us more info when you know more about the festival. We'll post it on the blog, and then hopefully we can cover Greenpoint again this year.
Yeah, Jason, thank you so much for having me. You really are very supportive of this community, and you you're always showing some support, and I love it. I don't know how you keep doing all these little videos all day long, and we really appreciate it.
Thanks so much for taking this trip down the rabbit hole. For more of our content, including our movie reviews, visit our website, norestfortheweekendpodcast.com. Don't forget to like, rate, and subscribe on your favorite podcast app. Once again, I want to thank my guest, Anthony Argento, and our sponsor, JMR Rentals. For Behind the Rabbit Productions, I'm Jason Godbey. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.